WrestleTalk!
Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I am Luke Owen and this is wrestling news. Ahead of last night's Money in the Bank, there were reports of a big return set to take place, with Worked Wrestling going as so far as to say Randy Orton would be at the pay-per-view. As we now know, Orton did not return at the show, and Fightful Select posted an update saying that Orton wasn't due back yet. Hilariously, in hindsight though, they also posted before the show that things on the McIntyre front have been quiet after weeks of chatter. People in the company say they haven't heard anything about Drew McIntyre, so if he is returning, they're keeping it quiet. And well, it looks like they were just keeping it quiet, as the Scottish psychopath made his triumphant return to WWE since WrestleMania to stare down Gunther after he retained the Intercontinental Championship over Matt Riddle. McIntyre turned his social media dark in the last few months, last posting a series of cryptic waving goodbye emojis in April, as several places reported that he was frustrated with the company and was even looking to work elsewhere once his contract was up. He was drafted to Monday Night Raw, but we've not heard a peep from him since his loss at Mania. When asked about Drew's return in the post-show media scrum where no muffins were eaten and no dogs were kicked, Triple H said that he and Drew would laugh on the phone about these reports, noting that if Drew had an issue, it's news to me. Cough, bullshit. Cough. He also noted he was out with an injury and getting stuff fixed. While he was out, he had something else to get fixed, so we did that, and here he is. That something else to fix was likely his contract. Sean Rossap over at Fightful Select, who had the most detail on the Drew McIntyre situation, teased on Twitter that he'll have a big update on this story in the coming days. Drew himself has made his first social media post since April 3rd, saying, "I've been counting down the days." But perhaps the biggest surprise was the return of John Cena, who came out during the show to tease the idea that WWE might do WrestleMania in London. So surprising was the return. Well, this was my face on the live stream reactions.
How have you found the show so far?
I've been having a really good time. I think the matches have. I will say, like, whoa! John Cena's music!
John Cena's here!
Do you know what? Hilariously, I was having a conversation with someone who pointed out that John Cena was in Croydon the other day. John Cena's music has just hit, and the man himself has walked out into the O2 Arena to a rapturous ovation.
Cena's surprise sparked some speculation that he might be involved in SummerSlam in some capacity, but according to Fightful Select, this was just a special one-off appearance. Triple H noted in the press conference that he put Cena in the unenviable position of teasing Mania in London, but how likely is it that we will actually see WrestleMania in London? When asked about this at the press conference, Triple H said, "I wish it was that easy." Interestingly, it's something that WWE might have been cooking up for a little while. Last Friday, when WWE held their media day in London, where we got to speak with Bayley, LA Knight, Zelina Vega, and others, WWE had a survey taker asking fans about hypothetical locations for Royal Rumble and SummerSlam in the United Kingdom. Hypothetical is a big word there, and that's what we've heard about the surveys, and WrestleMania was not mentioned, but the survey was asking about which locations were easier for UK fans between London, Manchester, Birmingham, and Glasgow. Obviously, it's not Glasgow. If Mania did grace these shores, it might be quite a way away though. As previously it had been reported that while Philadelphia is the home of next year's WrestleMania 40, Minneapolis was the rumored home of WrestleMania 41, so it would be Mania 42 in 2026 if the Minneapolis story is true. Triple H also added that the success of recent international shows like Backlash in Puerto Rico bodes well for Mania in London. Now, I don't think it takes too much of a genius to work out why WWE are looking to do WrestleMania in London because, well, you know. And Dave Meltzer has said on Wrestling Observer Radio that obviously WWE want to set an all-time attendance record at Wembley Stadium over 2 nights at Mania and take over All In. But here's the rub. London isn't like a lot of other locations for WrestleMania. The gimmick of WrestleMania is that it's a tourist attractor. It brings people in who normally wouldn't go to those places to spend money and help their economies. London doesn't need that. London is already the biggest tourist destination in Europe and would get the same number of visitors with or without WWE. In essence, London doesn't need WWE. WWE needs London. And according to Meltzer, WWE aren't just interested in the ticket sales for the show, but also the city itself to pay for them to go there, again, like Backlash in Puerto Rico. Clash of the Castle was originally going to be a London show, but when London wouldn't pay for it, they moved it to Cardiff who did pay for it. Meltzer notes what they did at Money in the Bank was an interesting game, essentially putting the ball in London's court. They had one of their biggest stars go out on pay-per-view and tell the UK crowd, you are going to get Mania and you need to let those in charge that you want Mania in London. Now you could go back to the survey and look at the other options for Mania like Manchester or Glasgow, but they don't hold the prestige of London. But perhaps more importantly, doing it, let's say at Old Trafford, does not beat AEW's all-in Wembley attendance, and that is also part of the goal. What do you think of all of this? Why don't you let me know in the comments down below. Quickly on NXT Europe now, which, well, let's be honest, we've not heard anything about since it was announced in the closure of NXT UK almost a year ago. While the brand was not sent to launch as an instant thing, there's been nothing said or reported about it in quite some time, with many figuring the return of Vince McMahon early this year might have been part of the reason, and that is technically correct. Triple H noted in the press conference that the impending Endeavor takeover and merger with UFC has slowed down the process of NXT Europe, making the 2023 launch much less clear. However, Tripp stated the intent is the same, and WWE still has plans to give international talent a place to shine on the biggest stage possible, but it is just going to take time. Speaking of taking your time and going into Money in the Bank, there were 3 names being touted as the winner of this year's briefcase: Logan Paul, eventual winner Damian Priest, and firm favorite LA Knight. Yeah, I think we can all agree that Knight was one of the most over acts in WWE over this past weekend in London, with his pop from the SmackDown crowd being shared around social media all of Saturday. Say what you will about UK fans, we do love ex-TNA stars. But Knight did not get the push and Knight did not get the win, and Triple H was asked about this in the press conference following the show, to which he said, "I know LA Knight was a massive favorite, continuing that ascent, adding great things come to those who wait, and that rise is just getting started," which is Zack Ryder speak for, "We're not pushing him just yet." Cody Rhodes, who quite easily beat Dominic Mysterio at Money in the Bank as one of the 3 main events of the show, again talked about finishing the story and what that could possibly mean, especially when it comes to the new World Heavyweight Championship. Well, it is not good news for those who are hoping that WWE were going to try and make this title feel as special as the one or ones being held by Roman Reigns, because Cody said, in so many words, "Nah, I don't want to win that one. I don't want to be a downer, but no." Now, winning the World Heavyweight Championship would be outstanding. It would be amazing. It's the title on the flagship show Monday Night Raw. It absolutely matters. It is important. But finishing the story was always about the title that my dad didn't get. But Cody, Bud, that title doesn't exist at the moment. It's now a mustard belt that covers up a blue belt that's hiding the one your dad didn't win. I don't think you can finish this story, bud. While LA Knight didn't get his briefcase and Cody continues to finish whatever story he thinks he's finishing, Io Sky did win the women's Money in the Bank briefcase in a tremendous match. Going in, there were some issues between herself and Bayley in Damage Control, and during the match, Bayley pushed over a ladder that had Sky on it to stop her from winning. However, it's totally fine, you guys, because during the press conference, Io Sky said that we won the briefcase, referring to her and Bayley, with Bayley adding, "There's no tension right here. We're good. We won. We did what we said we were going to do." This is something that Bayley had said to me last Friday. Did I mention that I spoke with Bayley last Friday and I got my picture taken with her? Look, it's on screen right now. I think we're best friends. Anyway, look, here's what Bayley had to say.
One last thing before I let you go. There's a word I caught in there, which is we're dedicating this win, as in you and Io. So, but both of you can't win, right?
Well, if Io wins, I win. If I win, Io wins.
Is that how it works? Is that the agreement you have?
Yeah, you remember Lake Cool?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it worked out so well for them as well.
We're like that, but better.
That's all for me, but I implore you to go and watch this clip from our live reactions last night at the Long Arm pub in London when Roman Reigns failed to double stack pin Jay and Jimmy. I, on the other hand, I'm just going to stare lovingly at this photo of me and Bayley from Friday.
Roman pinning both of them. Shades of Mania 37, 1, 2. Oh!